So hello everyone. So I want to kickstart today's discussion. So it's more of a discussions. I really don't have like anything. I want like it to be like more of a discussion between maybe all the attendees that are here. Yeah. So like I only have like a few points and sharing from experience of how we've been maybe pricing software and all that. So today's session was to be as a software developer. At times it's very difficult to price project, and yeah, whether you're starting out, whether you are experienced, it gets difficult. Even maybe for me, even right now at times it gets difficult to even like know the exact code for a project. Yeah, so today we'll be discussing these topics: how long to take, and what are the parameters that affect like a software costing. So I will be maybe leading the discussion. I'm Harun Wangereka. So just to introduce myself, I'm Harun Wangereka, Android developer at AppsLab. Yeah, so that is all about myself. And yes, so we can maybe start. I'll start maybe with a short story. So and maybe back in I think in 2018, I was once like asked maybe there's maybe this client who wanted like there's this friend of mine who had a client who wanted to charge like for a, what is it called, for a loan application. And the friend asked me, can you do like a loan application? And I said, yeah, I can completely do the loan application from start to finish, though I need maybe a backend person since mostly I focus on Android mostly. And now it got to the interesting part. Yes, you can do it, but how much can you charge? And I was like, I didn't like even have like a code for that like session, or for that like ile code unaweza pewa like off the head. I didn't have like a code off the head. So the friend had to like come down to my level and ask me, how much rent do you pay, so that we can maybe do a quickly calculation and see how much we can cost this maybe this application. So the reason I'm giving this story, maybe I'll come back to maybe how to exactly cost your software. At times you don't even know how like to start, but for starters, in case you even like don't have like uh you have not like ever quoted before, this is what like I was told. So for the first time you have never quoted anything, and you don't even like have a quote on the head. So what he did, you just calculate maybe let's say around Nairobi house rent can be maybe let's say between 15 to 18,000 for a decent house, but it depends. It can be cheaper than that, but I'll take like 15,000 for a start. So that's what he did. Maybe that is rent. Maybe for let's say the project will take like 4 months. How much will you like require for 4 months? What is your budgetary requirements for 4 months? Yeah, so I had to like calculate. Yes, I need food, I need internet, I need maybe transport, airtime, etc, etc. So I'll maybe just give like a rough figure, which comes to like, let's say you require like 25,000 in a month, and then you're going to do the project in how many months? Let's say 4. So that is 25 times 4, which is what will my sub? 25 times 4 is 100,000, and then one other thing on top of that was labor cost, which is let's say how much will you pay yourself. So maybe maybe it was my first like charging thing, so I don't like expect to charge these high amounts. So I just said like, yeah, maybe give me something between 25 to 30,000, which also amounts to like the same amount. Once you do 25,000 times 4 months, it comes to 100,000. So we already have like 100,000, 2 times 2, that is 200,000. And we also have like rent cost, which is 15,000 times 4, which is 60,000. So it was coming to around to 60,000. Yeah, so once maybe to memorize the calculation, that is when he told me, maybe if in case you are really new to like charging us maybe a software, that is like a very good like very good use case, where you can maybe just charge with what you require for the period that you're doing like that that like that the period you're doing like that project. So you see, like you can just charge to 60,000 in case maybe that is when you're beginning. Of course, this amount maybe it may be ridiculous, it may be low. You can maybe be underquoting or maybe overquoting depending on the project. But for a start, in case you don't have like, yeah, I don't know how to charge my software, I don't know how to do that, that's like a formula that usually works. You can just do like, yeah, I'm going to do like this project for this amount of time. I'm going to require X, Y, Z. I'm going to pay myself this amount of money, and wholesomely you get like, yeah, I've required like 250,000 for that project. So without even like having to go to maybe any site and asking how do you charge your software, or how do you like know how to charge anything, you already have like a estimatedly that amount. So that is like what we did back then. But over the years, so I just started with that story, but over the years I've learned like a lot of things from maybe charging software, and maybe yeah, working with maybe that amount that you have charged. So I'm just going to briefly highlight maybe. So as I said, once you charge like, once you say like that amount for 260,000, you can find at times maybe it's a loan application. You require backend, you require like, what else? You require maybe another person to like do that project, and you also require like to do backend website and maybe the application. So maybe somewhere in between you can maybe realize that, hey, I really underquoted this project. So that's why like I'm going to share like a couple of things. So the first thing, maybe once you're charging, I usually say maybe don't like have a specific quote. We have these guys who will only ask you, how much do you charge for an Uber like application? And someone will say, once you like tell them, hey, I'll charge this amount of money. So that can be like kind of a fix. Maybe someone just comes and tells you, I want an Uber like application, how much do you charge, without even like going to the basics, or maybe going to the like software requirements. So once you like give like a certain amount, let's say you say I'll charge like 400,000, and then once you're doing like once you're doing like that project, you realize this project required much more than I quoted. So that's why I usually recommend, before you even start like quoting, like you say I'll charge you this amount, maybe first you just tell the person to like, hey, can you give me like a detailed requirement? And in case you don't have like a detailed requirement, it is maybe a responsibility of you as a software developer, because you can find maybe clients who are not that tech savvy. It can be like, it will be like your responsibility to like come up with a requirements document and tell them these are the features that will be required, and for these features this is what I'll charge you. So what this like protects you from, it will protect you from maybe underquoting, because at times once someone just comes and said a one statement and you just charge, you will realize later on that this project required much more than I quoted. So for the very beginning, maybe after maybe doing this over a couple of times, and there is no like way to do it right, because I'll be asking you guys how is your experience on charging software. There is no like correct way how to charge software, but you just gain experience over time. And this is what maybe one of the thing, like even right now, if in case you ask me how do you charge like this, I'll first ask you, do you have like a software requirement document? Or in case you don't have, we can quickly draft one and give you like, according to these features, this is how we charge the system. Another thing, as once you're like having like that maybe requirements document, you realize that this is what the project requires. Maybe like I'll use the loan application. You realize that the application needs a backend. It also needs a maybe mobile application, an API, and also a bit of the landing page. So once you have like this requirement, it becomes easier for you. You know, like this is like the amount of people I'm going to need to work on this project. So this is like another factor that you factor in once you're charging. So I have like 2 developers working on this project, and these 2 developers need to get paid, and they need to get XYZ for them to work smoothly. So that will maybe once you're looking at the project scope and the software requirements document, you will just get like all this. So it helps you like don't undermine a project and maybe just get like the full gist of how the project is. Because at times, in case you just have an open-ended SRS, maybe someone wants like a Facebook-like application, then midway they want you to change maybe from Facebook to Twitter, then 3/4 way they want to change from Twitter to somehow to be like Reddit. So you see, and maybe you just coded for a Facebook-like application. So you see, like you have to do like a lot of work for really to pay. So that's why it's very important to just determine like what is this project, what are the requirements, and what is the scope and complexity of the project. So another factor I would say is maybe technologies. At times you may require, maybe let's say you are doing a tax hailing application, and the normal things that you do maybe for normal apps is the taxi hailing application kind of have like a different logic where you have to query some amount of data for after every X seconds. So maybe the technology required in that is like kind of high end, and you have to like kind of have like your own solution. Yeah, so this necessitates that you factor in maybe what is like, once I have this project, what technologies am I going to use? Am I just going to develop it in the way I know, or do I have to learn other things or have to use other third parties? So the reason to this, at times I usually ask guys, how much can you charge like for an Uber-like application, and guys will throw random figures. Others will say maybe 500,000, others will say like 2 million, 3 million, and so. But maybe in case you get to narrow down and ask, how can you account for this 3 million? So maybe some guys cannot like account for how you can break down that cost to effectively total to 3 million. So that's why I will recommend just know the technologies that you're going to use in case you have like, you're going to build a real-time solution from scratch, which maybe it's much costly and maybe requires quite a length, it requires like quite a long period to maybe come with it. So that is why you factor in, I'm going to use this technology and this will cost me a lot of money. So in the breakdown of your maybe invoice, you can maybe just tell the client, by the way, I'm going to develop this solution for you. I'm going to implement XYZ, and it will cost you this much. So there is also like another factor that you can use, and that is time. And time is very critical. At times you find clients who want most clients want their application done in, let's say they come today and after a month they have like their solutions up and running. And others can even tell you ridiculous timeline like 2 weeks, maybe 1 week, and so. So for me, once like what we do at AppsLab, in case you like require like in a month from now, since you have to like dedicate other developers and maybe you have to dedicate extra developers and also let them leave their various maybe day-to-day projects, and maybe have to reschedule maybe some bit of projects, you have like to make the cost a bit higher. In case like the project is taking 6 months, you can maybe reduce the price. But in case like a client needs like a 1 month, that means that it's 1 month, you have to do like a lot of things in 1 month, because like, and in 1 month, maybe as my experience has taught me, yeah, in 1 month, like yes, you can get everything done, but it will be like a struggle, or it will be like some people have to strain to get like everything done in 1 month, because you have to test, you have to like document, you have also to like conduct those meetings. So the shorter the timelines, the higher the price. So but in case like you don't like overpromise something and say like, I'll do you for this in 1 month with maybe little amount of money. So that it will bring you like extra pressure and a lot of like back and forth conversation. You said you'll do this in 1 month, it's 1 month, and you have not like delivered anything. So the time is like a factor once you're trying like to come up with a cost. And yeah, the shorter the timelines, the higher the cost, or maybe the longer the timelines, the more you can maybe relax the timelines a bit, because you have like a bit of more time to plan of, and maybe to do things like very slowly. So another factor is, as I was giving my story, I said maybe this is my budget for my month and I require XYZ, And yeah, so maybe for a project, maybe you're doing like a project for 4 months. For you to like not like for you to like be profitable in that project, you have to calculate in these 4 months what will either you or your team be using, and maybe just make sure like this project covers all these costs. It's not like you don't have to go back to your other maybe revenue sources and maybe pull up a bit of cash so that you can support this project. It has to like catalyze the cost for the period that it's being developed. Let's say you are doing it in 4 months, and in that 4 months you require X amount of money. So make sure like you properly, once you're quoting, make sure like you have like a rough budget of how much you're going to use during that like period, so that at least once you're quoting, you can also factor in that, yes, I've quoted this amount of money. Will I be running a loss, or will I be like running a profit? Because it will not make any sense once you like in a month you use like, let's say like 30,000, and you charge like 20,000 to do like a project for 2 months. So you see, at that you just be burning costs there, because you have done it for 2 months, and the project cost does not cater like for you for those 2 months. At the bare minimum, your project should be able to cater like, that cost should be able to cater like, for the 2 months, I have everything sorted, and I have like everything done. So on quoting also, this is something we do. At times there is kind of creating a profile for someone. So maybe we have different like types of clients. We have the corporate ones, we have maybe middle class, and we have others who are maybe, let's say, students, or maybe someone who just wants to get their project work done. So you don't like, at times we are very flexible on charging this. You cannot charge like the way you charge like a high-end client or maybe a corporate. It's not the way you charge maybe someone who wants their project to be done. So you have to kind of create a profile and know what does the client budget, what is the client budget. So this helps you, maybe once you ask like beforehand, maybe let's say you've met this client who wants to maybe this software. So once you like ask beforehand, this is maybe something you've experienced, you'll just get like, yeah, this client is planning to use around 400,000 in this project. So it helps you like you don't like underquote for this project, because we had a scenario where like a project is being costed, let's say it was like around 500,000, and you have only quoted like 150,000. So, and you'll find like in such scenarios, the client will be very willing to pay you quickly that amount, because you have like almost you have like charged maybe let's say like 70, only 30% of the budget that he was planning to use on that project. So it's maybe you just have to find a way to ask it like politely, let it not seem like so obvious, but you have like to just know how to maybe just get like roughly how much is the client willing to spend on this project. Because at times maybe this happens maybe for NGOs and big companies, they have like a very large budget allocated for this project, and once you like come quote, maybe it's your first project, and you just say, I'll just need like 80,000 to complete this project, and maybe you're doing it for like 8 months or 6 months or so. So they'll be quick to seal the deal, because you have charged them at a rate that they were not even like expecting, and maybe which is way lower than their budget. But once you like ask them what is your rough budget, maybe they're planning for spending around 400,000, your quote can also between be 300 to 350,000, at least that way. Or maybe say something between 450,000 until they can bargain, and you maybe bring it a bit lower. So this helps you to like not underquote, especially for large projects. I've experienced this where you just quote and the client was planning to spend a heavy amount of money, but since you really like did not go do like a profiling of the client, it will find you like, hey, you have like really underquoted. So one last thing before like I invite for other guys to maybe share their experiences, we have region. The way you will charge in Kenya is not like the way you will charge maybe for other regions. I'm speaking maybe in case your business is like kind of international or kind of operates beyond East Africa and or even East Africa. So you find at times the cost of doing a project in Kenya, maybe let's say a project can be costing 80,000, but you cannot charge the same when the person is from Uganda, because you also have to factor in the maybe travel expenses. Maybe at times the client can cater for the travel expenses, at times the client cannot. So you have to like cater like for a lot of things that maybe are unexpected a lot, or maybe some of the things that because this client is from this region, I'll have to do XYZ, which will cost me XYZ. So the region also, maybe it's not like a key factor, but it's something you factor in. The way you charge for a Kenyan client is not like the way you charge like for maybe a client from any other region. Yeah, so maybe that is just briefly. So on software costing, as I said, it's something you gain out of experience and doing it maybe a couple of other times. At times you even like the first one you make a mistake, or maybe get lucky and maybe just get a killing out of your first maybe pricing. But once you do it like constantly, it becomes like easy, and it becomes like, yeah, I can do this without even having to like worry if I'm underquoting or if I'm overquoting. Because the more you do it, the much better you become. Yeah. So yeah, what I usually tell, because I find like a lot of people, maybe when they're starting out, they usually ask, maybe is there like a better way to maybe to price a software? Is there a silver bullet? I usually say maybe it's okay to make the mistake at the very first time, but in case you have like sessions like this where guys discuss like how to properly price your software, at least you can gain a few tips and maybe apply them once you are coding for your next project, and avoid like the same mistake. Because as I said, I was at the beginning, even there was a time I couldn't even like price a software, and someone had to like break it down for me and tell me, by the way, this is how you can do this. In case you like don't have anything to base on, you can just do XYZ and you'll have a quote. So what we do at AppsLab, so after like you get like after you get like the whole functioning of an application, you simply don't start developing the application. There is like a process we follow before you even start developing an application, of which I feel it's very important to share. So once you like get this client, just maybe in case they don't have an SRS, as I said, you can come up with it, or maybe you can just generalize, because maybe in case you have never, or you can ask someone. Like for us, because we have done like a lot of applications, we know like, yeah, this application will have, maybe let's say a social media application will have these features, and this is what we'll charge. But in case like you don't like have any experience in developing software, or that much experience, you can even ask the experienced guys and ask them what features that this application has, so that you can at least know. So once you have like the features, the next thing we do is like create an invoice. Once you create an invoice, so for us we have like an in-house solution for generating invoices. But in case you don't have like that in-house software, we have this site, which is invoicing.com. I'll just share it on the site, on the chat. So yeah, we have that site. So it helps you like create invoices for free, and you can see all maybe you can accept even payments in one place, etc. So you can see maybe how and sample invoice looks like. It has like from, to, name. On turn we have there is supposed to be a place where you have like invoice items. But yeah, so we have here where we have like invoice items. It can be text, or it can be basically like you list items and maybe the total rate. So once you like generate, it's called an estimate, as you can see. Yes, you have an estimate, and then you can maybe share it with your client. And this is where like the negotiation starts. Maybe the client will say, I need a bargain on this, or I need like, yeah, is it high, is it low, something, but they never say it's low. They always seek for a bargain. So once you like generate an invoice, you can maybe, at least with invoices, you can track these estimates. We have these, we have invoices. So it's a simple solution in case you don't have like anything working for yourself, which I can recommend. So for us, we have like an in-house thing where we can track all these invoices and all that. So once like you send the invoice, depending on maybe your rules, I usually say maybe have some amount of money where, let's say before you begin the project, maybe there's some down payment. It can be 30%, it can be 20%, 40%, etc. So you have to like bring that up with the client first. Before, at times you can even, you see, you will meet guys who will tell you, I just need an MVP to test if this idea is working. And once like, you can even spend a lot of time maybe making that MVP, and at the end of the day, once they see the MVP, they're like gone and they will not pay you. So to avoid like such scenarios, and maybe you have scenarios where guys put like at site and maybe the developer was not paid. So to avoid something like that, usually just ask a percentage of what you see. It can be any amount, maybe 20%, 30%, 40%, but make sure you just get a down payment before you start the project. So here is the thing: we have clients who will not give you that down payment, fear of like they're doubting you, maybe whether will you deliver, or whether will you just go away with the money. We have that fear, but we have those like serious guys who will not be shaky once giving you like that down payment. And yeah, we have other guys. If you find someone is telling you, how will I like assure you, how will I be sure that you'll develop for me? So for us, it's usually like a red flag. This person is going to disturb us a lot, because like, I can also like not trust you blindly. Don't like agree like, yes, I'll do this software for you and you'll pay me once the software is done. At times the software cannot be done because yes, this is software development and we have a lot of bugs. So don't, it goes two ways. Let no one trust each other blindly. Just tell them, I need this down payment, and before I even start this project, I need like to get this down payment, else I'll not start this project. And what helps you, and maybe in case someone tells you, maybe we are even having like a discussion the other day, someone was asking us how will they ensure that the project is done and complete on our side. We have like a contract to protect you. That is both parties. So you have to make sure your contract is very solid to protect maybe both you as the developer and the client. So in case like you don't finish, the client can be compensated or something of the sort, and in case the client doesn't pay, you have like necessary actions. So that is like something essential. I will not recommend you starting, maybe especially for those guys who tell you this business is like, I don't have enough cash today, but I'm confident that this business will scale up and will give you shares on the company. I usually don't recommend. Once someone tells you that, you just, maybe in case you're up for it, you can go for it. But in case you really like need to get paid for your work, just tell them, those are not my terms. Yeah. So the remaining, like, let's say you have charged 40%, the remaining like 60%.
Okay, maybe.
You can always like define how you get the rest of the payment, because at times, yes, someone can pay you 40% and you do like the whole of the work, but by the time you're finishing, maybe they fail to pay like the other percentage. Again, that's where the contract plays in, and you just have to, by experience, just know how you get like the rest of the money done. Yes, so maybe that is just a brief overview of maybe my experience in charging clients. So do we have anyone else who is willing like to share the experience on how they've been charging, their challenges? As I told you, we've ever, what is it called? We've ever underquoted a project and you realize it halfway and you're like, yeah, that is a learning lesson. That's why I said there is never like a silver bullet. Even right now, you can come and it's like a back and forth discussion before you even agree the price. Do you have any takers? Maybe someone who can share?
Hapa tunaongea nini peke yake English?
Oh, niliprefer kuongea English.
Okay, sawa. Used to the down payment. Unafaa upewe down payment. Kama upewe down payment, unafaa upewe a surety of payment. A surety of payment ni si check. A surety of payment si check imekuwa post dated. Si inaitwaje, si word of mouth. They either give you the money or hivi vitu zinaitwanga hizi to count wanapenda kutumia
contract ama
achana contract hiyo wanaweza define
kuna
purchase order ama vitu inakuwa purchase order ama there's something the county likes to use as long as it's a surety of payment. Yeah, 50-50 LPO ndio hiyo.
LPO.
Yeah. So as long as a surety of getting paid, it is okay.
Yeah.
Aya.
LSO for software.
Ate? Mtu anaweza kataa kupata
LSO for software.
LSO. Okay. So someone might refuse to give you a down payment ati hayuko sure kama uta deliver. That's the lamest argument nimewasikia in my life. It's like you walking into a hotel alafu unawaambia hebu nionje kabla mniserve. Siko sure wa mnapika. If you're not sure, just don't walk in. If they're not sure if you're going to deliver, let them just not work with you. Wezi ingia hoteli ati nionje tu kidogo alafu nitaona. So that is an excuse. They have to pay you. Wakupatie.
Yeah.
Na kama ni watu serve, make sure you ask for more than 50% of that amount. Otherwise atakuachanisha hapo.
So as I was saying, maybe unaona like for those who refuse to pay like down payments, hao tu ni wase wa kusumbua tu. Hiyo tu ni from the word go. I'll tell you for free. For maybe someone who is like willing to do, like he has an idea and wants to contract you as a developer, they know like what terms are there and they are willing like to maybe pay. So I've seen maybe a question on the chat on how to like charge international clients. As I said, you don't charge the same. The rates will be, for us it will be a bit higher. That is what I'll recommend that, because there is a lot of unseen things, and also there is, for maybe international clients, you have to like do it like it's something you want to like maintain it for maybe kind of a long term. Although I'll say the problem is that I found with Kenya, it's something we were discussing on one of these meetups. You'll find like, let's say a bank in Kenya wants to do an application, and a software development company charges like requests maybe for, let's say, for bank applications they are a bit higher. So don't be shaken of the figures I'm mentioning. They can even charge maybe 10M, or maybe a Kenyan company quotes 10M, and we have a, let's say, Spanish company charging like 24 million. So you'll find like the bank will tend to go to like that's maybe Spanish company more than the local company, because we are not yet still to that level where guys can, maybe a company can be paid like, let's say, 10M Kenyan company. I've seen this, and once you're a Kenyan and say you're charging this, they'll say your rate is way higher. So that's why I'm telling you, at times once you go to like international, just quote like without any fear, because the region there is kind of different, and the software cost, maybe they appreciate how development is done and the whole process of development. Plus, international clients, you'll find they're not like the guys to want to do a project for 1 month. They can even, it can be a project running for even 1 year. So you have to like charge with that in mind. But I still hope that there comes to a time where we can even charge that kind of amount for Kenyan companies, and we get paid for that, because you'll find like outside companies are charging ridiculous amount of money to do work for Kenyans, and the job they are doing, it's like, yeah, even Kenyans could have done better, but it's not yet there. Maybe some few top software development companies can be charging the same, but in case you are maybe not like that known, or maybe you don't know people who know people, it's very high to maybe charge even above 1M, because guys will be like, you are a Kenyan, why are you charging this high? But in case maybe it's for international, just don't be afraid to like quote like the exact software cost. Do you have anyone else maybe willing to share experience? Any question?
Oh, Aaron, there are some questions in the chat section about contract.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think we talked about contract the other time. So I think that one we can push to a different discussion. But we're working with there's a repo. Oh, there's a repo we started, I think, with the 4D. I'm sure. So I think it's time we share it. Just pull it up.
So on the contract, the reason I brushed on it is because we had like an extensive discussion on Fun Friday on how to maybe what are the nitty-gritties of a contract and etc. Yeah, but let me I'm seeing someone from that chat, from that discussion, saying we never shared. So
just pull it up.
Yeah. So, and SRS, maybe I usually mention the word SRS, and I'm like, a lot of developers don't know what an SRS is. As I said, it's a software requirement specification. It's a document that says these are the features for the application, and this is what is required for that application. I'm finding trouble.
Go to organizations, profile organizations. Also, alafu kitu ngine, just when you are charging your clients, the moment umecharge clients do ingine, just make sure you keep your order number one, the way you treat the client, the way you respond, the update, so ndio wajue tu it was worth their money. So you have to put that one in mind too. So don't just charge the client 1 million, alafu uanze tu WhatsApp na not responding to emails. Yeah, so make sure if you're charging 1 million or even higher amount is a package. Whether you're going to charge higher or low, it should be a package to the client, from communication, the way you organize yourself, the way you update the client, the way you do the demo, and all, the way you train the client. So you have to consider all those nitty-gritties. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. And for those who missed about the contract, you can. There's also another discussion that should happen every Friday. It's called Fun Friday. So I think you can join and request for a video, for a recorded video on contract. I guess if they have a copy, they will share it with you.
Yeah, but I've shared the repo on chat. It's work in progress, where we can be updating like this document. In case you also have like a nicer approach for this development, for this contract, you can also add on it. Yeah,
they can do a PR.
Yeah, to emphasize on the 1 million thing, as I said, you'll find like in most like tech groups, maybe I'm in a couple of them, and there is this like guys usually want to charge like excessively higher. So maybe I'll use like the Uber like kind of an application. Someone can even tell you I'll charge for him, and So these are the dangers of overcharging, and in case maybe you are new to that. So once you overcharge, maybe a client willing to pay like 4M is not like a client you can joke with. So they briefly ask you, or they briefly bring you, like, I remember maybe we had a client in Uganda who had like to explain how you develop this whole application. That is from how you start, how you develop, and how you deliver. So you have to have like that in mind before you even start coding, so that you cannot be caught like pants down. Hey, they asked me how will I account for this 4 million, or how will I develop this application, and you don't have like exact answers. So I usually don't recommend. Once you find guys there's that like status quo, yeah, for Uber like kind of application, I'll charge like 4M. Yeah, it's worth 4M, but I'll charge for my experience. In case you have never developed, you can even say I'll charge this amount of money. So that is what like has worked for us. Maybe we have maybe a social application we have never done before. Let's say we charge 200,000, and once when we are doing like this application, that's when we realize this application is supposed to be charged way higher. Or that's when you get the aha moment, like, oh, I did undercode for this project. So the next time someone is telling you, can you do like a social media application for me, you'll have like exactly this is what it requires, and this is the amount like it requires. And once you like are asking a board meeting to explain like how did you come like onto this figure, you can explain, not like you can maybe explain how you arrived at that figure, not like just, yeah, I have this 4 million, I'll charge. It's maybe just good in case you're charging 4 million. This is what this will cost. This is what this will cost. Just don't have a figure. You can be very embarrassed in case you don't know like how to break down this price. So I'll just maybe pull up some examples.
So while you're doing that,
yeah,
I have some weird way of working out pricing.
Yeah.
When someone comes to me and they ask me how much it's going to cost,
Yeah.
the first thing that I do is to charge per hour. In my mind, najiambia per hour nitacharge hii, then naipeleka hadi a month, naona does it make sense. Now devs wangapi wanaweza wakia hii kitu if it's a team.
Yeah.
If there are 2 devs, then sasa the cost is double, but naweza wakia hiyo moja.
Yeah.
After that tunafanya estimate venye tulikuwa nasema, if it's taking 4 months,
yeah,
and you're paying me per hour, then itakuwa this much.
Yeah.
So just in case client akuulize how much, how you've arrived at that, I can work it backwards that nimuexplainie that I work for this number of hours, I'll be working on your project. That means I'll not be working on any other person's project.
Yeah.
And that is how I came to this one.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe just to expand on that, so after maybe you have like you can have the hours, and maybe for us you can maybe even break down to features. So maybe we have like this customer mobile application, and you list maybe some of the features that this application will have, and that is the cost for that. And then you go down another item, that is service provider, that is another application that will cost that amount. It's always good. Don't be like brief. At times, being brief like can really mess you up, because they want to like really justify how do you arrive to this 89,000. So in case you don't know like how to like break this down features for someone to see like, yeah, any application, not sasa like I'm looking at this and I'm like 90,000 for all these features. So not list inafika 35. By the way, this is low. So you have like to break down until that person at least anaona by the way it's worth that rate. Then after that, you see, this is what I was saying. Once you we have Invoicely. This is like our own like system where we just do invoicing. But yeah, we have web application, will cost you that. We also have my ride admin dashboard, will cost you that. And yeah, that is the total. So at least by the time like the person sees like this invoice, he at a view like these guys know what they are doing. So it is either they kubali ama they say, hey, I had this budget, I can reduce again. Let's say this is for 15,000. We have like a bare minimum amount where you cannot reduce. They cannot say that they have like 150,000 or 50,000 and you just accept like that. So for every application, just have like a best case and worst case budget. So worst case is where they say, what if the client bargains and say they have this amount of money? That is the allowed. That is the allowed. And maybe best case is when everything goes well and they agree. So as you can see, all these items, as I was saying, you have to have like an SRS. If in case you don't have, you cannot know how to detail everything like this. So again, SRS is software requirement specification. So once you have it, you know like, yeah, I can put these items in the invoice and you are done. So this way, someone cannot ask you, why are you charging? And they'll see like, yeah, this application will require this and this. So this is something very effective. And once you send like this invoice, most of the times they will accept or ask for a bargain. If they are not serious, they will not reply to that invoice. They'll just like ignore it and yeah, that is it. Do you have any question? Or anyone willing to share anything? Let me just. So yeah. Yeah, so the reason I said this breakdown is because, as I said, a lot of guys just throw in figures they have had before without like having like this breakdown. So it will be very like, just have this breakdown and tell the person, yeah, according to your software, this is how I'll charge you. So in case you don't have like the SRS, I said as a developer, just like come up with one and tell them these are the features for the application, because not all clients are tech savvy. So some will just say, I want like Tinder-like application. So you have like to just come up with the features and tell them, according to these features, this is what you have to pay, or this is what I'll charge you. So as I said, we don't have like a silver bullet for all this. At times you underquote, at times you even like miss opportunities because you didn't know how to properly maybe charge. So maybe for starters, in case you have never charged, or in case maybe you're looking how to start like charge your first software project, I said, in case you really don't have any formula, you can even start like have your expenses, break them down in monthly and just calculate, maybe I'm going to do this project in 5 months. This is the amount I usually do for, this is the amount of money I usually require for these 5 months. And just calculate, add your rent, add everything, yeah, and add labor costs. Maybe if in case you have two people, 3 people, multiply that cost by 3 and you'll have a figure. So you'll be left with breaking down that figure into maybe features or maybe hourly rates, in case maybe you prefer hourly rates, because some guys maybe work in hours, others maybe work in just block time periods like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So that is in case you don't have like, yeah, you don't have like a way to like properly price that software. You can even have like a company, even for us, once we are quoting, we even factor in the company budget, and we have to like see, does this project, because at times there is no essence of doing like a project and you are left like, you're the one like, you are having to like remove a lot of money from your pocket just to sustain, because you have to like, at times maybe you may require additional devs. The project cost should itself cater for all that, and you are left with maybe something small, maybe for, you can call it profit, you can call it whatever you want, but yeah, that is what I usually recommend, or maybe from experiences has worked for us. Any question or any addition? I see we are out of time. Do you have anyone with a question? Yeah, so I see there's a good comment here on SaaS, that is software as a service. So what you can do also, at times we have like, let's say this invoice generating system. At times you cannot like, in case you don't like want to sell it one-off, you can have like guys having subscriptions. So let's say we have this invoice, you can maybe sell, maybe have like 10 clients subscribing at 1,000 monthly. So 10 clients, that gives you like around 10,000 monthly. So that is another way that usually works, but we have not really like tried this model mostly. Ours is maybe mostly clients, but you can even build upon this where you have like softwares and have to charge like different like subscription values. You can have maybe silver, bronze, and gold. Just only that the features are different. So that is another model. Maybe if your software does not change from client to client, that goes for ERPs, that is enterprise resource and ERPs, and maybe something like school management systems, those kinds. They're the ones like you can maybe just build one school management system and distribute it to a couple of schools and having them as subscription. So the good thing about maybe software as a service is you are assured that every month you have 10 guys paying you this amount of money. Yeah, the bad thing about the other one is at times you can even lack line for a period of even 4 months. So you have to properly budget yourself. So to summarize maybe on software costing, on maybe the whole discussion, as I said, these are maybe key things you should consider once you're pricing. That is the project scope and complexity, and also the features of the project. 2 is maybe technologies. 3 is time. That is the time you're going to develop that software is very critical. If the client needs the application soon, the price goes high. If they need it like in 4 months, 5 months, you can maybe reduce the cost a bit. Also, that is maybe company budget or personal budget can also factor in. We also have region. As I said, at times it's hard to convince Kenyan people to pay you the exact cost of maybe software. Maybe someone wants like a Facebook kind of application and it will cost them this amount. At times they can't even pay that amount. But in case you have international clients, they can even give you like that whole of kind of amount. Another thing is the client profile. As I said, we once did that mistake of we don't like do a research of the client, and you realize at the time you are finishing the project is the client had budgeted X amount of money and you only requested 30% of that amount, and they never tell you that you underquoted. They just be happy and say it's good business for them. So just do a bit of research on the client profile and know how much is this client willing to pay for this software. And another thing is the relation. That is one last thing. Client relation. At times you can have recurring clients. Maybe you did them you have ever done a software project for them. So the second time you can maybe reduce the rates for them just to win them or just to make sure they stay like loyal clients. Yeah. So my last sentiments are these things you just like gain them over time and you just like perfect them over time. Even as we are still like learning most of the things. Every new client is a learning process. So I cannot tell you that we have really mastered like how to price. We're only sharing like experience. So the more you do it, the more you become better at it, and the more you do it, the more you reduce the risk of underquoting. And as we said, maybe those who don't do a client that cannot maybe accept to pay a down payment for you, that is a no-go. That is like a red flag. simply don't start that project in case you don't have any down payment. And in case maybe we have like corporates, in case they don't have like last down payment, what they tell you, we create that LPO, and yeah, in case you have that LPO, you can be good to go. But in case they refuse to trust you, or in case they refuse to in case they have trust issues and down payment issues, please just run away from them, because it's like once you start the trouble at the very beginning, it goes on until the very end. And one last thing, so for the down payment, to maybe for payment purposes, to secure you and secure the client too, just have your contract ready. So that, as Bill said, this is another lengthy discussion on contract. So just have like a contract to protect you and to protect the client in case things go south, and in case maybe you don't receive your money. So with maybe those kind of things, we'll avoid like, yeah, having this site and having maybe just posting a 4 message, or yeah, this developer was not paid. Some of these things you can avoid. Yeah. So that is all from me. Unless we have any other question, we can now end the call. Do you have any question or someone who can share anything? Okay.
Ni kama tumemaliza huko, kuna maswali?
Kuna maswali.
Ah.
So thank you guys. See you next Thursday, same time.
Next Thursday kwanza ni siku tutakuwa tunaongelea what details will come. So siku bwana haraka.
Yes, Magak.
Bwana haraka bwana.
Aya, tuko karibu kupona. Thanks sana Harun. Asante.
The recording itakuwa pale YouTube the course of next week. So, bye guys.